And now it's time for Gifted in Space, the Highwayman edition. Space was vast nothing amidst a few bright stars. The sun was a distant dwarf out there in the darkness. The road was a ribbon tightly wound and coiled, and the trucker girl came trucking, trucking, trucking. The trucker girl came trucking right up to the first exit ramp. She had a bright, wide-brimmed hat on her head with a gangsta tilt, a 44-ounce cup to sip, and a lead foot to boot. And she rode with a devil's eye, her eyes narrowed on a prize, her eyes devilishly turning over mischief under the jeweled sky. Down the ramp she thundered and clashed to the first inn door, her horn blasting, but all was locked and barred. She yelled rather loud to the window, and who should be waiting there but the landlord's black-eyed daughter, Bess, the landlord's daughter, walking out of the inn door to get a great scare. Once upon a time, there was a man, a highwayman. This highwayman had one true love, a true love that began when he was just a child. As a boy, he watched as his mom paid rent to the landlord. That was when he saw her, the landlord's daughter. Eventually, the landlord evicted the boy and his mother. The boy swore he would become a highwayman, earning the respect and money he thought would enable him to run away with the landlord's daughter and start a new life, designing and shipping fancy red coats. By day, the highwayman would work the roads for his plan. By night, he would return to the inn by a back door and say, "Oh, Bess, dear Bess, let down your hair, that I may climb the deep, dark stair." This was Bess's, the landlord's daughter's, cue to show off her hair. Highly unsuited for an athletic career, but very moving for a highwayman. The highwayman's plans were moving along rather splendidly until one fateful night he crossed a trucker, the evil trucker Kinsey. "This road ain't big enough for the two of us," the trucker said. "If that was an attempt to body shame me, it won't work," the highwayman replied. "Look, dude, I've run over far more innocent than you. It's my way or the highway." "I'll take the highway." "You can't have the highway! It's mine!" "I thought you just said..." The trucker turned on her horsey shield, a device she had designed so she wouldn't run over horses. The device started making a ta-lot, ta-lot, ta-lot sound, and the highwayman's horse, very spooked to hear spooky horse hooves, took off with the highwayman, who was now more an off-roadman, into the valley. "I'll get you, trucker!" the highwayman yelled. "First, I'll get the landlord, then I'll get you." Turned out that wasn't exactly the order the highwayman got anyone, because he called the crew of Battleship Mayfield to help him overthrow the trucker. While Captain Patrick was reluctant to help a highwayman, the work sounded suspicious. He couldn't resist a chance to thwart the trucker. Bess arranged for the crew to stay at the inn. First Mate Abby volunteered to evict people, which had nothing to do with the mission. She just thought it would be fun. Special Helper volunteered to help in the kitchen. He was just starting to dethaw the chicken when he turned and saw Lieutenant Delana in the closet, exchanging smooches with a highwayman. Special Helper shrieked, dropping the chicken onto his toe, shattering the breasts and the foot. Well, at least the way he went on, you would have thought his toe was in a million pieces. "What in the name of Rhett are all these breasts doing lying shattered on the road and on the floor?" the landlord demanded. Everyone looked to Special Helper, who looked at Lieutenant Delana, who looked at the highwayman, who looked back to Bess. Bess, enraged at the highwayman's betrayal, kicked everyone out, except her father, of course. She resolved never to trust a poor boy ever again, and she called upon the trucker to visit sometime. This was mentioned at the beginning of our story. The highwayman, abandoned by all because, of course, Lieutenant Delana was just playing him, lived in isolation and poverty until he was hunted down like a dog by a local TV show to be its star for a short-lived series with a rather confusing tie-in to the show Knight Rider. In Syndicate, the show earned the highwayman enough money to buy a red coat. The end.